Alright, hello there, Internet. So my name is Ryan, and in this video I just wanted to show you just another update about this game that I've been working on. I made a video showing the paper prototype a while back, and I've been putting a lot of work into the digital version. Um, and so here, this is just an update on that. The final launch platform will be phone. This is running on my PC, but this is obviously like a phone portrait layout, so that's why it looks like this and not like a full window. So the main I'm gonna try to explain, kind of my goal with this video is to get some design feedback. So I'm hoping to explain most of the mechanics and play through it in a way that makes sense, and just hoping that people watching are able to get some sort of a general grasp about the mechanics and how it works, and maybe want to play it too. I don't know. This is all in my own engine, so I don't know if it would work in a different computer. But okay, so let's get into it. So this is just the start of the game. The goal of the game is to get victory points. The timeline of it is you have these different shapes you have to place. You have a deck of these shapes. You have 9 shapes, and you have 4 rounds. Sorry, my voice. You have 4 rounds to get victory points. And so the main mechanic is placing these shapes on this board. You can't place them. This black is not part of the board. This gray is part of the board. These cells in the middle here are ones that you've claimed that you can build stuff on, do stuff with. And so these each turn you're going to get a shape randomly from your deck of available shapes, and then you have to place it on the board somewhere, and then where you place it will change the board. And so you can rotate the shapes with these 2 buttons down here, and there's certain rules where you can place them, and it highlights, if you place it somewhere, if you try to apply the shape somewhere where you're not allowed, it'll tell you. And so this red arrow will demote a cell. You can also see some green arrows here that will promote cells, and this shovel will claim cells for future promotion or demotion. So promotion and demotion, what am I talking about with that? You can see there's different things on these cells. There's some trees here, there's some cactuses, and there's some bones here, and then also trees here. So there's only a finite number of states that each cell can be in, and they're related in a tree like this. So this is how you move cells. And so when you have this red arrow, you're going to, and you place it over something like this, you'll demote this cell down the tree. So you can see this cell right now is currently tree. It's like a forest, and you can see a corresponding forest here, where if I demoted it, this forest would change into a desert like this. And so let's do that. I'll just place this shape here, and I'll apply it, and then you can see this is my available options, but right now there's only one option. And so if I click this, it's going to change that cell down to a desert, because we moved that cell from this state into this state. And so just, it's a tree, so you can only move along these lines here. So you can only move, like this. You couldn't move from this to this. You'd have to go down the tree and then up. And so here's another shape that I got. And so I can place this anywhere, almost anywhere. I can place this on any of these available cells right here. And so again, you can see this, like if I place it here, this cell is currently a desert, and then I'll be able to move it along the tree either to this, these, or this. So I can only move it one. I can promote it up the tree to one adjacent node. So I'll apply that shape there, and you can see it gives me my 3 options, which are tree, or these weapons things and this stone, and the art leaves a lot to be desired. This especially this one's pretty weak. It just looks bad. They need to be more iconic, and I'll fix them. This is just kind of first draft art, and so we'll move it. I can click any of these to change this cell to one of these states, and so if I click this, it'll change it to stone. And then this shovel will claim some of this gray open space for future use, for future promotion or demotion, because you can't promote or demote this gray space. But if you use a shovel, then you can claim it to use later. And so we could put this, I can put this here, and then we can move it along, move it up. So that's hopefully that makes sense. I mean, that's real quick and pretty complicated. I think there's not many rules, but it's I don't know. Just let me know if that makes sense. So let's keep going. So we're still missing some mechanics that I haven't explained yet. There's also the main one being just deck building. We can change what shapes are in our deck to kind of influence how we're influencing the board, basically. So I'm going to put this I'm just going to put this here. So the one big major thing I haven't explained yet, which I'll explain right now, is you can get, so it's hard to know where to start. So how do you get victory points? That's kind of obviously a key point, is getting victory points is the way you win. And so how do you get those? So you get victory points by getting these special shapes, which you can see right here. And these shapes, are special because they have this orange outline. And these orange outline shapes are called harvest shapes. And you can see they look a little bit different. They don't have the arrows or the shovels. They have like an actual cell on here. And so you can use these shapes to get victory points. I'm not going to go into depth with that yet. Once I get one, I'll explain it. So and so the way you get these shapes is by building one of these cells. And so you can see this. If I click on this graveyard cell right here, it pulls up this description, and it says adds the below harvest shape to your pool. And so if we build this graveyard cell, we're going to get this shape, and then we have to put it in our shape deck somewhere. You have to replace one of these with this one. So let's do that right now. As you can see, this cell is currently the bones, which is this cell. And so if we promote it, our only option is going to be this graveyard. And then that graveyard is going to give us this orange harvest shape. So we're gonna put this here, apply it, and you can see our only option is this graveyard. And then down below, you can see it's kind of giving us a little preview that it's going to give us this shape. And so we'll click this one, and then it takes us to the shape deck, and it asks us where we want to put it. So let's say we want to replace this one, place this one here, and replace this red arrow with this shape. So we'll click that, and then it takes us back to the main board and gives us a new shape. But we can go click back here to view our shape deck, and we can see down here that it's kind of in waiting. So the next round, once we place all of these shapes, the round's going to end, and then all of the shapes in waiting are going to be replaced in our deck. So these shapes will be replaced. So I'll kind of zoom ahead and then do that so you can see it. So you can see it's kind of waiting down here. So now let's place this one here and build this house. I'll put that. So again, this house gave us another shape that we have to put in our deck somewhere. So I'm going to put it here. We have one more to place. So we'll put it like that. And then it says round over, 3 rounds left. And then we can come back here and we can see that this shape is now in our pool. And same for this one. And so now at some point in this round we're going to get this harvest shape. And so this is kind of the goal. So we're going to try to build up to these cells, up to these houses. So these ones we'll put there, this we'll put there to get the forest, this we'll put there to get this house. We got another shape from building that house, so we'll just replace the same one because we don't really want it yet. And so here we go. So this shape is a harvest shape, and you can tell because it has an orange outline. So it's kind of special. We use these shapes to get victory points. And basically what you do is you just line them up. You're trying to match the board with the shape, and then you get 1 victory point for each cell that matches the shape. So if we put this right here, so if we put the shape there, I'll move the shape and you can see that these trees match, but this lava does not match these hill things. So we're only going to get 1 victory point from these trees. So if we apply it, you can see it removed that 1 cell because we harvested it, and then it gave us 1 victory point. And that's how you win. I mean, that's it. So I'll keep going to get just to keep answering, kind of keep reinforcing that, teaching it a bit, I guess. Just to hopefully it makes sense. So here we got another one, and we know it's the harvest shape because it has the orange outlines. And so we're trying to match the board with the shape, and so we're going to place the shape here because it matches these 2 houses match these 2 houses on the shape. But this third one doesn't match, and so we're not going to get the victory points for it, but that's fine. And so we'll place it there, and we're going to get 2 victory points for those houses we just harvested, and you can see up top we just got 2 more victory points. And if we go to our shape deck, you can see that those are grayed out because we used them. But then the next round, all of these are going to refresh again, and we'll get to use them again to get more victory points. So with this shape, we kind of want to be building up to these cell types, these cell states, so that next round we can harvest them and get victory points, basically. So how do we? So the goal. Let's look at this. So the goal is to get up to these houses. We want to put these houses on the board somewhere. So let's look on our tree. These houses come from these trees and these deserts. And so you want to go from desert to tree to house. And so we have these 2 deserts here, so we'll put this desert here and then build a tree there. And we'll do the same thing again. So we'll change that tree up to a house. And that house gave us this shape that we can put in our deck. So we'll put it here, I think. And then where we want to kind of claim some land around our house to hopefully make it easier for us. And you see we placed all our shapes for that round, and so then our shape deck refreshed. We can get all these shapes again, and then it gave us another one. And so now we got to place this one, which is this shape, which is a harvest shape. You can tell because it has the orange outline, so that means we're going to get victory points from it. And we just want to match it up to the board as close as possible, and we can match it up perfectly right here. You can see that this tree matches these trees, and that matches that perfectly. And so if we apply that, we're going to get 2 victory points because we just harvested those. And so that was good. That was a good little round. And so now we kind of want to do the same thing. Trying to build houses, and we're trying to get trees and these hill weapons in that configuration. And so we have these hills over here. So I'm going to put that there and hope that this one is a tree. It's not. So that kind of sucks. But we can make this up to a house. So now we got this again, and we'll put this here because we can at least get these 2 to line up. These 2 right here don't line up, so it's not gonna harvest it, and we're not gonna get victory points for it, but that's okay. So now we got our houses. We can rotate it and then line them up as much as can. We can do that, and then we'll get 2 more victory points. And yeah, I mean, hopefully that makes some sense. That's it. I mean, that's pretty much all of it for now. I've been thinking of more mechanics to add, but I've been trying to refine it down as much as possible before adding anything more. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to explain. There's some definite problems with it, like you can lose before the game is over, which is bad. Your success is also very dependent on the order that you get your shapes, because the order of your shape deck is random. You get your shapes randomly from your deck every round. So if you get one of the harvest shapes really early, it can really early in the round it can suck because you don't really have time to build up to them. I think the tree, I'm somewhat happy with the state tree. I'm not super happy with the theming of it. You know, I want them to have like a logical vertical progression where we go from a natural human state to another one that is natural and human to understand. You know, we kind of go from this stone to this like temple thing, which kind of makes sense, but going from a desert to stone doesn't make much sense. And this branch makes some sense, where you have these kind of weapons, and then you get bones, and then you get a graveyard. But again, kind of going from desert to this doesn't make much sense, and the art isn't great, so this one just doesn't look like much of anything. But it's getting there. I like the tree is simple. I think the tree is simple enough to, after you play it once or twice, you understand the cells and how they relate to each other, the states and how they relate. Yeah. That was pretty long. I think if you've gotten this far, I really appreciate just watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. So yeah, just if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear any sort of feedback. If you want to try to run it, that'd be cool. I don't know if, can't guarantee it's gonna work. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any like opinions or feedback. I really appreciate it. Thanks.